Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. One of the marks of a free person is the ability to say what that person really believes in, without being afraid that harm will be caused to him by saying that, or being afraid but nevertheless being courageous enough to say it. Obviously, crazy people who don't think of consequences, they also have this kind of freedom to say whatever they feel or they think, and they don't understand the consequences. Now, I don't think the former Russian president Dmitry Medvedev falls under the crazy category. I think he's just a free, powerful person who knows that whatever he says will not be detrimental to him, unless they lose the war and he gets hanged upside down like Mussolini by the forces of good. Because forces of good dispense justice like they dispensed after many wars. I can direct you to certain people and you can in history, and you can look how justice was dispensed by the good people. So what did Medvedev say? Well, he said something that could appear obvious for some, but it's not allowed to be said out loud, because if you are weak and you say that, the consequences will be so great that you might be starving in the near future. So let me show you. This article comes from Sputnik, and this is what Medvedev stated. West allows condolences to be expressed to Israelis, but not to Palestinians. Oy vey, that is crazy, don't you think? Obviously, he's not right. I mean, whatever he says over there, it's incorrect, unfair, unjustified, everything wrong. He's a bad dude. Don't listen to him again. Okay? This is what the reaction is in the West directed to probably these statements. Now they tell us here what happened over here, and in the meantime they said that Israeli community, Israel launched retaliatory strikes of the attacks of Hamas, bad attacks, bad attacks, ugly attacks, and ordered a complete blockade of the Gaza Strip, home to more than 2 million people, cutting off supplies of water, food, and fuel. All right, refusing to toe the ideological line in the West is already directly punishable. Well, how is it punishable? Sometimes you may lose your job, and if you lose your job, you lose your livelihood. How are you going to provide for you and for your loved ones? That tells me, shut the hell up, otherwise we will not starve you. All right, is already directly punishable, as can be seen from the fact that it is permissible to express condolences to Israelis but not to Palestinians. Russian Security Council Deputy Chairman Dmitry Medvedev said, and I'm quoting Medvedev, going beyond the boys of the I don't know what that is, of the ideological trend is already directly punishable in the West. It is allowed to express condolences to Israelis but not to Palestinians. They shouldn't be pitied. They are all some kind of terrorists, and they can die by the thousands. Children, women, old people are simply expendable. End quote, Medvedev wrote. So, he said also this. Dmitry Medvedev believes that the US-led world continues to slide into the deepest abyss, that the decision of the United States are evidence of a loss of conscience, and that describing military aid to Ukraine and Israel as a quote-unquote wise investment is beyond good and evil. Is that Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil, one of his works? And I'm quoting, the world led by the United States continues to slide into the deepest abyss. Decisions are being made that clearly indicate not only the irreversible mental disorder of their bearers, but also the loss of the remnants of conscience. The decisions are significant and small. but they clearly scream of the illness of the entire society, Medvedev wrote on his Telegram channel. And he says here, in particular, he mentioned Biden's statements on, and I'm quoting, reasonable investments, as well as the bill to ban the canonical Ukrainian Orthodox Church, while the Verkhovna Rada passed in the first reading on Thursday. So they banned the religion, but whatever. And I'm quoting, investing in the unnecessary death of people is reasonable and good. There are no words for it. It is beyond good and evil, and it's not just the dementia of an old fool. It's the whole philosophy of their state life for centuries. The ban on the original church in Malorussia, small Russia, Malo means small, is a dirty policy. Thickly, and that's the Ukrainians don't like being called Malorussia, small Russian, little Russians, for obvious reasons. Thickly mixed with cocaine and Satanism, said the Russian Security Council Deputy Chairman. U.S. President Joe Biden, in a televised address to the nation on Thursday, called aid to Ukraine and Israel, and I'm quoting, a wise investment that will pay dividends for future generations. So, well, this is what Medvedev said. I think he should have the right to say it. We should have the right to analyze it and criticize it. Some could celebrate it, some could, destroy it, but I don't think you should have the right to destroy someone for free speech. What you can do, that's what I learned in the free world, you counter free speech with free speech. That is, you come with your counter arguments and you expose and say, hey, this is why I think whatever you say, it's kind of like not right. Or I think, based on this evidence. And then the other person, like a tennis match. He kicked the ball. He served, you return it. After you return it, the person has his chance to return it. And so on. The same here. He said something, we can say something, he can argue again, and that's how you find the truth. And then how you solved problems or diffuse tensed situations by communicating. If you just dismiss people from, I'm not going to talk to you because I don't like what you say, then I can understand whatever I want to understand from your behavior and your statements, and I don't check with you to say, hey, wait a second, I want to make sure that I understood exactly what I think I understood. So can you, give me some details, talk about it a little bit more, give me some more, to understand. And you say, this is what I understood. Is that what I'm supposed to understand? And if you said yes, okay, then you go with your exposure and so on. If you are inclined to solve problems, if you are inclined to create problems, then don't talk to one another and see where they're going to get you. The easiest way to see that is in a friendship, in a marriage, in life in general, in dealing with people. If you don't communicate, we might have a very different assessment of one another just by our outside observation. Communicate. So anyway, according to Medvedev, what do you think? Look what happens at Harvard, and I think in Pennsylvania, University of Pennsylvania or something like that. I think it's not Ohio University, it's in Pennsylvania. Again, the donors pull out their money because some people dare to say something they disagree with. What I can say is just take your fucking money away. Don't change our free speech. The freedom of speech. You can take your money because those guys with their money that they support Harvard, and you look at their early life and find out who they are. I mean, they're not hiding. They just say this person coming from there, this person being that, and so on. So these guys are saying, if you don't support this cause, I'm taking my money away. So they're not in supporting free speech. They are in supporting certain kind of agenda. Well, take your fucking money and don't change our culture and civilization here. Go back to your little fucking garbage over there and stay there, okay? Go and still worship whomever you want to worship, okay? But don't leave us alone. We're way ahead of you. You're still over there with the goats. You stay there, okay? Unfortunately, you got money and power. And you got money and power over strong countries built by strong people that now are weak people. All right, my friends, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.